You guys, come make this with me. It's from Aldi, Korean barbecue style beef udon. You guys, it is so good. Okay, y'all. So it comes with 2 packages of these lovely noodles, udon. And you just put olive oil and cook them a couple minutes. I like them just a little bit darker. And I just cooked up some sausage. So there's a little extra in the pan. And then you mix it with the sauce, and at the end you put green topping on it. But I'm trying to bulk up vegetables, right? So unfortunately my spinach was not happy. So we have some green peppers and some sausage to get some protein. This has a little bit of meat in it. But that wasn't my favorite part, actually. And I kind of picked it out a little bit. I think they're $6.99 or $7.99 at Aldi. This is thanks to my roommate had this and shared some with me. And it's just so yummy. And then I'm just going to add some red pepper flakes, just a little bit. And the seasoning has so much in it that the sauce that you really don't need. So this is going to be my dinner, and I'm going to leave some for Joanna, and hopefully lunch tomorrow. So I'm going to let it cook on low. I have to set my alarm, you guys. I'm going to let it cook on low for like 10 minutes just to get all that goodness in the noodle. But look at that, you guys. Look at this. All right, and then we'll do a little bit of a taste test. You guys, it's so good. But number one, I'm committed to adding vegetables and protein and trying to pump up things that way. But unfortunately, I don't remember the yucca number is low. And one of it comes with a green onion topping. But see, it has potassium carbonate, sodium carbonate, just disodium phosphate, something else. So that thing they're toxic. So if you don't have your own little green onions to cut up or some chives, let that go for sure. But it's going to be something I have occasionally. But, so I wanted to add spinach, but my spinach had died. But anyway, welcome. I'm Tracy. This is my channel, Tracy from the Mermaid Cove. I've been very MIA. I will say this, I have the generic form of Ritalin now, enough to take 60 milligrams a day. Yesterday was my first day taking it, and already there was a noticeable improvement. And even I talked to my brain doctor, and he said, you already sound totally different. And I also have a health coach I talk to, which is free through my insurance, and we talked and we meet like every month, and we've gone every 2 months, but, and I set goals and we go over that and maybe why I'm struggling to reach the goals, or, did I change the goals for what reason kind of thing. I couldn't remember what my goals were. I have a book, I write things down and couldn't find it. So, but we talked about anger and frustration, and those are things. I have anger, obviously, and I get frustrated, and I can be very sarcastic and snappy. But with my brain medicine, it's not that I don't always say my brain's bad without it. It's just different without it. but I have a moment for a pause and not to, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, and I don't want what's going on with me to be thrown on somebody else kind of thing. And but I've been a little snappy. Never with customers. That I just be quiet if something's going on that's annoying me. I just go quiet. But we talked about, pushing all that in, right? And not really, and I hadn't, when she started talking about that, I really haven't acknowledged it. I haven't expressed it some way. The thing with anger and anger management is you don't express it in the moment, that you have things. So I'm working on that, some journaling, and she said to get a baseball bat and a pillow and pretend like it's Big Pharma. That appeals to me, y'all. Really does. So, so that is what I'm going to be exploring right now. But one of the things that's been so hard is the depression. And that's why I think I've worked really hard to grow through this the best I can, right? Because I feel stagnant and I feel like I'm not living, I'm surviving. I have to get to work. I have to take a shower. I have to have my clothes clean. I have to keep my kitchen clean. And my table makes me unhappy right now, but I'm getting ready to do that. So that is, and it's hard to explain, but I get isolated within myself, right? Like I can, text Beverly, and we usually talk every day and say, I don't want to talk. And then she'll call me like, I don't care, we're talking kind of thing. And so even when, and I haven't really been creating or making time for that, or, and so all the things that give me support that I love, tend to go away. So that is something, I'm really thinking about, because I'm sure there'll be a time again when I'm not going to get my medicine, but the depression is unbelievable. And again, I was always a depressed person and I had ADHD, but now I see now that the depression comes with ADHD. And of course, most of my life I've been unmedicated, right? And I don't know why it's not solid. I don't know if it changes or I'm just more aware of it. If you're like 350 pounds, you're depressed. I don't care. You're depressed. So it's given me a lot. And so I told my psychiatric nurse practitioner, I said, I've got to deal with the depression, because if this happens again, I need something that's going to help me with my depression. And yes, I can journal, and yes, I can walk, and yes, I eat better. But that's not enough. It's a brain chemical, right? I need something. And luckily, I do respond to medicine. And the other thing, I don't know, I've been thinking about is, people meanwhile, they love you and say things and it's just not helpful. It just is annoying sometimes. And because it's as if you don't know, as if you're not doing your part in the struggle, right? It's really hard when you're really depressed to cook good food. It's really hard when you're really depressed to pop up and go out for a walk or to reach for things that lift you up. Sometimes it's almost like, I don't know, like I'm in quicksand or there's a boulder on me or something, right? And I think what I've learned is I'm really going to practice on listening also within myself, but also listening to when people talk. And we're all older and we all have some health stuff going on. But most people know what to do. It's just hard. And, so I had a colonoscopy, endoscopy Monday. Today's Wednesday. And my colon's good. And she said 10 years, I'll never do it again. Because I've had 2 now with no polyps. And my mother had no problems. And we'll see, my brother's getting one. But I just don't think that's an issue for us. But my endoscopy was the thing I was really interested in, is how's my stomach doing. So when your stomach is really small from this gastric sleeve surgery, you have to take medicine for, acid reflux, because of how your stomach is, if you don't control it, it will eat away at your esophagus, right? And there's silent acid reflux too. So, and I can feel it when I don't take my medicine. It's hard because I can't take that medicine with my ADHD medicine because it wants an acidic environment. I mean, this is like, you can't even imagine. And then Synthroid wants to be taken alone, and this needs food, that doesn't want food. I mean, I do my best. And so, yeah. So I lost my train of thought. Oh, right, the stomach. So anyway, I had a lot of polyps. And she took some to biopsy. And the picture's like, whoa. But she said that's not unexpected. And I mean, I don't know what I expected, but I knew something would be different. And so we're going to wait for all that to come back again and talk about different medicine. And that's one of the reasons I went, because I know this medicine long-term is hard on your body. And now, you know, I'm having such pain in my body that I need to take stronger aspirin, and that is a no-no, right? But we talked, and what I like about her is, I said, well, what can I do for the polyps? And she said, well, you know, eating healthy, losing weight is always helpful for everything. She goes, but I know that's easier said than done. And I know you already have, right? So I like that about her, that she's realistic. And I remember one time, I think it was my new doctor, and got blood results, and I was like right on the cusp of, you know, bad numbers for blood sugar. And this little girl, she's like 24 something, calling me, telling me what to do. I'm like, oh, hey, hold on. Thanks, but I don't need that talk. I was like, are you out of your mind? So, but when you have doctors who truly do understand, it's helpful. But I do have a picture of these polyps in my mind. And yeah, so I'm going to, you know, even the fact I could get up and cook is a good sign, right? I mean, I've had the worst time getting out of bed. And now daylight savings time is coming, so I feel really lucky that I've got the medicine in. But I got so much more accomplished yesterday that just makes my life easier to have it done, right? And like, I was in a panic, and I had gotten something from Target. And I was watching, you know, I've been deep diving all this, and I was watching, you know, different things. And one of the things is with ADHD, like, so if you get something, let's say you get a bill, it's not due for 3 weeks. Like, okay, I'll deal with that then, right? There's either now or then, and then never happens, right? So I am really training myself, the minute I get a bill, actually I'm trying to pick stuff up on my way to work, and at lunch, pay it and have a little notebook to write down. Not that I can't check my accounts, but just so I can see it. And if I'm spending money, you know, I think, oh, I only spent this much at the grocery store, but I'm writing everything down. I'm really working on how I spend my money. And so I was in a panic, and I thought, oh my God, I'm late. I'm gonna have a late fee. And it's just the nature, honestly. In credit unions, there should be a person who has ADHD. Because I never not made a payment. It's just sometimes they're a day or two late in the past. And I call, and I had paid it, because I couldn't find my book. And so that, and usually I write on there that I paid it, and, you know, file it or wait till it clears and then shred it. So I'm doing a good job, but like I shredded, you know, you only have to shred a few things every week. It's so much easier. So I'm trying to keep up on that. But it's the panic and the chaos it causes. And what I've come to learn is that gives your brain a boost. And so sometimes people seek that out with even understanding it, right? So that was sort of eye-opening, because that is, I am not adrenaline junkie, and I am not somebody who wants to do crazy things to get myself. I don't want to be on a roller coaster, y'all. I don't want to watch scary movies. It's just not my thing. I want my nervous system to remain calm. So I'm also, you know, poor Beverly, you know, Beverly and I have known each other a long, long time, and she's my BFF, right? Like, we talk every day, and plus I want to check on her, make sure she's okay. You know, we're just kind of each other's checkpoint. Even though now I have a roommate, and if I drop dead, she would do something about it, I think. But she'll say, my God, you know, I know your brain's not functioning in a way that is normal, but you're doing amazing things. I'm like, just shut up. Just shut up. So, yeah. And she won't say, well, you shut up. That's what I would say. No, you shut up. Anyway, I'm not allowed to say the word shut up. My father thought it was a curse word. And stupid. Cannot take the Lord's name in vain. Oh, and dang, and what was the other one? Oh my God, if I said that, he would come unhinged. He could not stand these words. So I really, you know, when I say, I never say shut up or stupid, but if I slip out, I feel like, to me, that's worse than saying the F word, honestly, because that wasn't even discussed, because that wasn't even like an option. But Scandinavians are known to curse. I guess all cultures are, but it's a thing. You know, even in like Fargo, I think they had a little spoof on that. But yeah, but one of the things I miss most is you guys in doing this. And partly it's a time thing. If I lay in bed all morning, you know, I have limited time, right? And I'm usually pretty good. I'm actually an on time, if not early person. But I've had doctor's appointments. I have PT, so I feel like I'm always rushing to get to work on time. And that really is annoying to me. I don't like that feeling. So I did get a thing for my car so I can start doing some stuff at lunch or when I'm driving and it feels safe. Now that I have medicine, Beverly's like, please don't do that until you have your medicine. But yeah, so it's a lot going on, but I do miss you. I am here. In the comments are so important to me, and I'm just struggling with my hands. So what I've done is, so I'm going to find out whether those polyps are benign or not, and then deal with that. If not, we're going to talk about different enzymes and stuff to help myself. And of course, food is huge. And I've been watching a woman, and I didn't write it down, and I wish she had a better YouTube name. So I found her. She's in Western North Carolina. I found her during all the hurricane stuff. I've just become obsessed with North Carolina and the people. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I always wanted to retire there because it has the 4 seasons. And, you know, I'm not sure I could live in the mountains. Well, I know I couldn't because you need to be strong. But I always wanted to live near the mountains, right? And I love creeks. I'm obsessed with creeks. We used to have creeks when I was growing up. I love it. Nothing more than I would just spend a whole day marching around a creek, and we would look for berries and play pirate, and we'd be gone eating our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or God forbid, whatever my mother made. So it's definitely something I have fond memories about and makes me happy. And but it's called like the Aeroponic Tower Channel, so I'll find it. But I kind of, especially the day I couldn't eat, you guys, let me tell you something. This prep, I cannot imagine doing it again. This, unless something terrible happened in my colon, you know, the issues arose that I knew about. But, you know, that first, so you start tampering down. And I had a chart, girl, y'all, I was not playing games. Because to me, when we were they were getting me ready to put me under, and somebody came in and said, oh yeah, this guy wants to do his thing, even though he aspirated on a pill. And he said, oh, I just have a little bacteria in my lungs, which means he had pneumonia, and you know, still wanting to have this procedure, and you know, and I said, and this is true, I believe the patient is about at least 50% of it going well. Like doing your prep, doing what you need to do is almost everything, maybe 51%. So I followed it to the T, and it was hard. So I would say Sunday when I was on liquids, it was hard. I kept fantasizing about all the food I wanted, and I wanted Mexican food, and I was looking it up, and you know, and you had to eat Jello and vegetable broth or chicken broth, and yeah, it's just a hard day. And I drank tons of water, but the prep was a nightmare. And you know, they say it's easier. Okay, the day before was okay because I gave myself plenty of time, but I had to get up at 5 and start drinking the last one of these things, and then 4 glasses of, you know, 8 ounces of clear liquid. And I had to be like a Zen Buddha on a mountain to keep it down, but I did. So, yeah, I mean, that's super important. You don't want to do something like this guy, the anesthesiologist was telling me, because someone was having their stomach done, and, you know, you have to quit eating by noon, but she'd had like at 12 o'clock, like a huge sub or something. But it just doesn't make sense if you're going in to do that. But anyway, so I tried to do it, but I did a really good job of that. Really good job. So that's done, waiting for that. And then I decided my gastro doctor, I can't say that whole word, but she gave me the name of a rheumatologist. And I can't get in for 3 months. But I'd rather have somebody that's hard to get into than, so, oh yeah, I can take you now, right? So I have an appointment actually right after my birthday, and that's my goal, is sort of get all this going. And the woman I talked to was so nice. I've met so many nice people like calling, and I've been so lucky, just with just lovely people. And but I got all that done. Now I got all the paperwork in a new portal, which I need to write down that I need to do that. Let me write that down. Because I didn't do that yesterday because it took like over a half hour, and then, you know, I'm rushing to get on the desk. Okay. And honestly, That's the kind of stuff. Just, so like today I'm leaving. I have physical therapy and I can only go once a week from scheduling. It's just, yeah. But I'm making sure I do the one. I've not been as good this week about doing the exercises. Just, it's been an off week. So hopefully now that's something I've done some this morning, and it's so important to do that. So that's what's going on. And then you guys, like, your lymph nodes are a little swollen. You probably have sinus congestion, and I've gotten so used to it, I don't even know when I have it, but I do because my head's draining today. So I think I'm going to go get an appointment with my ENT and talk again with, I don't want antibiotics and I don't want steroids. They don't last long enough. I know I'm supposed to be using my Flonase, so maybe what I'll do is start using that and up to the appointment and see, and I should be doing the irrigation and all that kind of stuff. So I need to buckle down about that, but something's going on. It's chronic. And so I think like I'd like to do is lean towards not having much dairy. Having said that, I had this yogurt to eat up, but so I've been having like a little black tea with milk. So I need to find a good oat milk. And you know, most oat milks are just toxic, like zero. They put the worst crap in that. It makes no sense. No sense. I would assume you're doing it to be healthier. But I found Wegmans has one called Khalifa Oat Milk Organic. It has to be the organic one and no flavors, and they're just crazy bad. So I want to get a couple of those. And I'm not the biggest yogurt person. Like if someone said, okay, you can never have yogurt again, I'd be okay with that. You know, but I do eat it. I go through spurts, especially now they have yogurt that's like got 20 grams of fiber in it. So I want to show you, this has been my snack. So what I do is I like just chop up one apple, and these are those sugar bees from Trader Joe's had them. But this is something I had gotten, vanilla honey blended Greek whole milk yogurt. So 14 grams of protein for 3/4 cup. So that's pretty good. I did not scan it on Yucca. It's got flavor in it, so I mean nothing bad at whatever natural flavors are, right? Anyway, it's expiring this week, so I thought, okay, so I am what I'm doing is, so I'm taking, you know, because I want a snack at work. I want something, right? And I want something a little bit sweet. So I'm just gonna put on some yogurt. And then what I do is just mix it around a little bit, and it keeps the apples from getting that yucky kind of brown thing. And the apples are still yummy. They're super crunchy still. So I just kind of do that. So good. And then I add a little bit of honey, not a lot. And this honey, I don't know, I meant to go to the farmer's market this summer and get some local honey. But I'm not even doing that much. Just like a little bit. And then I am throwing on, of course, my ground cinnamon, y'all. Cinnamon makes everything taste like Christmas. So I put a bunch of cinnamon, and cinnamon's so good for you. And I was just looking around to see what I had. And so I have some of these pepitas. Now they are, they have salt on them. But it kind of adds to this. I kind of like it. And then about 1/4 of a cup, again, gives you 8 grams of protein. So, and they're this dark green, so I'm just gonna do a decent amount. And then I'm adding, I got some of these, I heard like dried cherries are so good for you, and Trader Joe's, you know, you can't beat this kind of stuff. So with no preservatives, no artificial colors or flavors. So I kind of want to, there's sunflower oil on it. I mean, honestly, just a little protein in this. So 1/3 of a cup is a serving. I won't probably do that many. But I'm gonna throw this in here. And yeah. And I did have some of those Trader Joe crackers that are the pumpkin cranberry ones. And I put a couple on top. I scrunched them on top. You get this really good pumpkin flavor. So anyway, so this is a yummy dessert, and it took me like all day to eat it. But because of the protein, it's not messing around with my blood sugar levels. And it's so crunchy and, you know, yummy. So that's what I'm trying to do, is come up with stuff like that. I mean, this would be fine without yogurt too. What I might do too is make some chia seed pudding and throw all this in that, or put it on top when I eat it. I mean, I get the creamy that way. So again, you have to get up and get things done, right? So I'm working on that a little bit every day. I'm debating if I should get an appointment with a hand specialist and get going on this. And you know, and I'm really trying, I'm on Instagram occasionally. Anyway, let me go back, finish one thought, maybe. That's just me, right? That apple is so good. So it's like Aeroponic Tower. Her name's Stephanie. She's got wild red hair. And she was so earnest. And so I started watching her. And then that day I just had her on while I was dozing. And she does whole food, and she grows these towers. I guess the soil in where she is in North Carolina is like clay, right? So it's hard to grow things. So she has these towers, and she grows all kinds of stuff, And she's just fun to watch. But I think she inspired me, you know, to think a little bit more about stuff. And she definitely doesn't preach in a way, you know what I mean? But she, it's just, I guess, I haven't watched all of them. And I think there's a story about how she was unhealthy and it turned her life around. And they had lived in Florida, I think, most of their life. And then they sold everything and drove around country. And they're homeschooler types, people and preppers, but in a good way. I mean, you know, why do we judge homeschoolers? I don't know. My roommate is product of that, and she's lovely. So, but then they bought this cabin, and she's trying to, you know, and it is, our food is poison, basically, right? But she tries to do 80% of her food there, and she does canning. Well, she doesn't like to can, but she does fermenting and stuff, and cooking. And she was talking about cookbooks and a lot of gardening stuff. But I don't know, I find her very comforting and soothing. So I spent some time with her, and I thought, you know what? Let's think about. I'm not going to just go rush out and buy stuff, right? I want to eat my food. I threw away half a bag of spinach, and that's okay. But I think Joanne and I are going to share spinach. But, and, you know, I'm going to try to buy organic spinach, you know, buy organic things. So if I'm not, you know, buying a lot of other stuff, right? But I'm also going to be very conservative and maybe go to the grocery store twice a week, or do a pickup twice a week. So just throwing things in, like having my eggs, you know, making quiche. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how I feel Friday night. So I have a crazy rest of the week. So I work till late tonight, and right now I got to put some Halloween stuff together. You know, I have a special needs crew, and I love them, and they watch my channel and support me. They're so great. Hey, Catherine, she's my #1 fan. But I'm putting some stuff, I have actually a Dollar Tree to show you all, but I couldn't post it until tomorrow because I talked about some of what I got on. But I want to put that together. And then I have a friend, I want to drop something by his house in the morning, which means I have to get up earlier and, you know, just get my plan going here. And then I changed my work schedule because I have therapy today, 11:30, and I have to be at work at 11:45, and so I'm going to be late. So what I did is I'm going to work an hour less today and then work an extra hour tomorrow. So instead of getting off at 6:15, I'm going to get off at 7:15 ish, and then I'll miss some traffic and Halloween. You know, my neighborhood is huge for Halloween. But by the time I'm heading in at 8:30 or whatever, I might run by the grocery store. Actually, I might go by Wegmans, and look for this oat milk. So yeah, it makes me nervous, the little kids running around. So that's the plan for tomorrow. And then, so I'm gonna get the Halloween stuff together today and have it at work. And then, that's Friday. I work. So I'm thinking, you know, again, going, you know, the back way to miss traffic. And, so what I need some spinach. I'm gonna get some more peppers. I'd like to get, this woman, her name's Stephanie, her channel, and there's another guy, Mark Honeycutt. And I think it's Honeycutt. I just love his videos. He's from North Carolina, Henderson. And he just has a fascinating life and an interesting life and the hiking into things. And yeah, and there's another guy who does geo models of what happened. You guys, this is biblical. Y'all, it's snowing in Hawaii. I don't know what. And I'm pretending like next week's not happening because already customers are getting crazy. And I've got to be very grounded in this because it's upsetting when people I really like are just off the rail crazy. And I get it. The fear is everywhere. Anyway, that's all I'm saying on this. But yeah, so then Saturday morning, my cleaner and her son's supposed to come. So I'm just really debating about Christmas. So even if he helps me take down Christmas stuff, I have to grab it and put it down. So as much as I wanted to take some Christmas stuff out this year, I might have him just do a few things. So we're going to pack up Halloween and put that away. And I've been slowly pulling stuff and giving it away, either to people. I'll just show you my friend Tina's. I took a bunch of Halloween stuff and put it on the table at work. I'm like up for grabs. And Tina wanted this thing. It's a really cool thing because I think it's her sister or cousin's grandchildren are born late October. And she wanted it sort of on the table for their birthdays. But I found 2 mugs I'm going to pass on for them. Yeah, it's all about letting go and sharing, right? I have too many mugs. Is it going to keep me from ever buying another mug? No, I'm not going to put that on myself. I'm not going to put that kind of crazy limit. I'm going to try to think about it and be really careful. It's going to have to make me squeal inside. Yes. So, yeah. So I think what I want to do Friday night is maybe get some quiche going. I want some food for the weekend to eat. So Saturday morning, they're coming, hopefully. Because then I'm meeting Mark and Sue, I think around 2 or something. I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to do something fun. And then I'm working Sunday, which normally I'm off, because I want to take off Monday because I have a doctor's appointment. And it's in the middle of the day, and I just don't want to use leave. I'm trying my best with that. So that's kind of what's going on. A lot. And but I'm like, you number one is food prep. That's not an option anymore, right? So that's what's happening. Like I said, I'm not going to go and get rid of now. Aldi's has some really good animal crackers, Benton, and they're got a lemon flavor. They're kind of I'm obsessed with animal cookies, animal crackers. Love them, but I've tried many kinds. Most are terrible, except for the Real Thing. Trader Joe's, everything of theirs is good, but they're toxic. It's a 0 out of 100. So I ate them that day because I needed something, but I put them on the table at work, and so I'm going to work really hard on scanning everything in Yucca. Now I know when you're buying box cookies, y'all, they're toxic, unless they're from like not Trader Joe's. You gotta be very careful at Trader Joe's, even Whole Foods. But I would assume. But you know what? If I want cookies, I'm going to make cookies. Because, you're using real sugar, using real butter. These are things your body knows about, right? And there's no preservatives. The preservatives are just killing and making America sick. I mean, making like these, and we're dying. I was watching someone, she talks, convenience is killing us. And it's the truth. But yet, people have to do what they have to do. You're working 2 jobs, you have hungry children, you're going to open Kraft macaroni and cheese. It's just how it is, right? But can you maybe then, when you have time, make food? I don't know. It's got to be a balance, right? But for me, I'm going to edge my way out. Like, we're talking 5 years. And also when I go see this rheumatologist, I would like to have lost some weight. 2 pounds is fine. And be, doing some, walking. I just need to, when I have time, I do a little more, right? And so it's a daily thing now. And sometimes it's 10 minutes, 10 minutes. Sometimes yesterday, I literally went around the block because it's the habit, which is so important. But I want to really have worked on my diet in the sense of eating healthier and support. I haven't deep dived yet what arthritis, I know sugar's bad for everything, right? So looking at that, and again, like coffee, I'm not having it every day anymore. And we got a machine that has a frother. Oh my God, I got obsessed with this frother. And it's half and half. And I'm not, dairy's not my friend. So, I love my oat milk creamer, but you have to use almost like half a container. So I just thought, you know what, to say no coffee is not reasonable because I love my coffee. Y'all love my coffee with y'all for sure. This is Dunkin' Donuts original with a little bit of oat milk creamer. My friend got some for me, the good kind. So trying to have green tea, having a little bit, I love black tea with a little sugar and milk. So I'm going to change that to oat milk. And, don't use a lot of sugar, and I'm going to try to wean myself down on that. And then the green tea, sometimes I put a drop of honey in it, but normally I just, this first thing and I drink it, get my protein shake, my water and all that in. Yesterday I did not do as well as I would like to do on my water. So today I'm really going to, it's just really challenging for anybody. I don't care what you do. If you're a quilter, you're a banker or teller, whatever you do, you get in the zone. It's not always easy to remember, but these are habits I know I can cultivate, and I'm do decently with I love water, so it's not a problem for me, but also want to get some cucumbers and start adding some more mushrooms. This woman talked really about how, Stephanie from this channel, how healing mushrooms are. And there's something called lion's mane, and apparently helps with the neuroreceptors in the brain, especially for women who are menopausal or that kind of thing. So I'm going to slowly learn and just add, right? Like right now, I had some canned mushrooms or glass mushrooms that I had left over. I'm going to use that in my quiche Friday night, and use up all my peppers. So that's where I'm at. And my energy level's low, and that's okay. And it's just the brain. It's the depression. It's a tough thing. And I know as I move out of this fog, and it's just wild to me how much it has to do with ADHD. I never knew this. I never knew it. And I think back as being a kid, and I don't know if it's because of the brain. I don't know. No, I don't know. I have to read some more. And I just know that it's a whole different way of looking at it, and I'm grateful for that. But I think one thought I didn't finish is listening, right? Listening, and acknowledging what someone's telling you without feeling like you need to help them or the answer for them, because you don't. You don't. You know what works for you. You know what you've read. But what people can actually do, and this is what I appreciate now in doctors, and if I don't have a doctor like this, I don't keep that doctor, because if someone is going to say to me, you have to lose weight and exercise, I will kill them, because I've heard this crap my whole life. And it really wasn't about that. I had hormonal issues. Not that doesn't help. Of course it does. Not saying that. But to say, oh, well, this is what you need to do, and you have ADHD, or you have this or that, and it's supportive, but it's not the answer. For me, it's medical intervention. It's drugs that help my brain. And this Dr. Edward Howell, who kind of wrote the book on it, he has a new book, and I've been watching him on YouTube. And, and he says 80% of people do really well with the medicine. 20% don't. They don't know why yet. He happens to be someone who doesn't do well. So I happen to be someone who does really well with it. So it's, and again, this myth of normal, right? Normal. what really struck me during the pandemic is you know, constantly checking your temperature. And I remember, I'm pretty sure it was Sanjay Gupta, who I love. And he said, look, when you feel fine, take your temperature, because that's your baseline temperature. Not everyone is 97.8 or whatever it is. That is the average, right? But that's not the norm for everybody. So if you really, your temperature is higher or lower, so if you go up 1 or 2 degrees, it's going to look different than somebody who's 98.7. And I happen to be like 97.8 or something. So that is lower, right? So it looked different for me. And I just thought, you know, that's the norm, that's the average, and it's really probably not true. So it's just things like that, you know, that one of my friends, we just talked briefly, and she said, you know, she's worried her baby's underweight. I said, you know what, compared to the average, your baby's perfect weight for itself, right? The doctor's not concerned, the baby will grow. It's just their journey, right? And to worry that it's not hitting the norm, right? God forbid, the norm. So, and you know what works for somebody, it's amazing, like to think that other people cannot take ADHD medicine, it doesn't help them. And I take a big dose. And it took me years to figure this out, right? But I've got to start deep diving the depression and different medicines for it, because I know that this one's not working. And I would like to see if I can ever get back to the Adderall generic and get going and get it, and you know, go off a real low dose of that medicine, the depression medicine, and see if it matters or not. Is this something maybe I just need to take when I can't get my ADHD medicine? I don't know. There's a lot to kind of explore. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. And but yeah, there's these kind of towers that people grow food in. Some aeroponic tower. So that I think is the name of her channel, but her name's Stephanie. She's got wild red hair, because I think a lot of people have it, and she's in like near Marshall, North Carolina, and they were okay, but their town pretty much got destroyed. Crazy what's going on there. But Mark Honeycutt, he hikes and does all this stuff, and I don't know, it just is really appealing to me. But I would love to go and find a little trail and a little hike by a creek or something. Those are goals, absolutely goals. But now I just have to work on my my arm being better, and my knee being better, and doing what I can do to help. And then, so pray for my friend Robin. She is having eye surgery today, about 11 o'clock, I think. She's bad eyes. Something happened when she got pregnant, but she like 22 years ago, had cataracts surgery and a lens put in, and it popped off. And what's so scary now is, so she's going to Johns Hopkins, which is in Baltimore. We're lucky to have amazing facilities around us. And they have to have a retina specialist and a cornea specialist. And it has taken 6 weeks to get this emergency surgery. And she's had days where she just has to sit in a dark room. So scary, scary, scary. You know, and we have really good insurance, thank God. It's just, yeah, it's wild. It's wild how long it takes to get into doctors. And I would rather see her this week for sure, but it's going to give me some time. The lady who was giving me the appointment, I said, well, it'll take me that long just to get the portal going and everything I need to do done. But yeah, but you know, I remember when I made my appointment with the gastro doctor, it felt like forever. And then here I've had my colonoscopy and have moved on. And I'm very happy that I am following through with all of this, just collecting doctors, you know? But yeah, I think I'll work on, and the other thing too is I have my dental plan, checking on the crown price this dentist gave me. I need to follow through on that. Maybe that's something I could do today. And see what it is, and then go ahead and make an appointment and get that crown done. Yeah, it's just a full-time job apparently. And then, but I'm trying to do things, so instead of saying, oh, that's the price estimate, and then it ends up being more, I'm checking things out. I'm trying to understand. So here's a good example. I did all this deep dive and things that maybe I could add, like I could add one times life insurance. They have a special thing, and I did all this research and then forgot to do it by the end of the time. Because again, if I have a deadline, like, oh, you have until this day, then apparently it's a trait of ADHD that you don't do it. So again, I'm trying to get my mail and pay that bill at lunch that day, mark my thing down, put it in my book. I have a little bag I carry now, throw that in and wait. And when it goes through, just if I don't need it, you can get most stuff online and shred it, right? I used to keep everything, but really once it goes through your money's paid out, there's really no point if everything looks right. So that's what I'm working on and digging out a little bit. My library is, oh, I know. So I'm having friends over the 11th of November, and close friends. It doesn't matter what my house looks like or anything. I feel really good about that. But I wanted to bring some Christmas stuff down and go through it, help me decorate, and then give them stuff. But I just think I cannot engage. And so even if I have someone on a ladder handing it down to me, it's too much for my arm. So I might have him do just a few things to get the essence. But I got to think about food. So I've been doing two thoughts. I'm thinking about doing like a ham in the crock pot, maybe some corn pudding. But then I think, that's getting close to Thanksgiving. So maybe I might do some yummy crock pot, like not turkey, chicken, like a Mexican vibe. And we could have, taco bar, and then hopefully my friend Sandy, her daughter's the best like pie maker on the planet, and bring some pie. So, and then we just need toppings and stuff, and have some chip and guacamole, and just kind of festive and fun, as opposed to the ham. Because I thought, well, then if I have that and make corn pudding, I have to say, someone, you bring the rolls, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the Mexican turkey chicken tacos. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I have that in my head, this, deadline that I wanted my library done. Well, we're heading into the 1st, and I haven't had 1 second to do it. And if anything, it looks worse. So I thought, and like this weekend, I'm not going to have any time to do anything in it. So I thought, this is okay. There's a difference between a goal and, and you not achieving it and feeling bad about it, right? That cycle. And it's like, these are guidelines where, to help focus you. But I know once I get in there, there's just a lot of stuff that hasn't been dealt with that should either be recycled or, put in a container, that kind of thing. But in my room I'm a little bit, my laundry's a little upheaval. My room's a little bit upheaval. Nothing near as bad as it used to be. But, I was thinking that I don't feel comfortable in my room right now. And that's not, So I'm going to try to work at night. I'm trying to break my cycle at night instead of sitting in a chair and watching TV, whatever, YouTube, whatever it is. And then I want to have some kind of food kind of thing. So I think what I'm going to do is try to get my girl fed and do all that, get my dishes all put away, and think about food in the morning, and then head up and, do something in my room, care for my room. But anyway, that's where I'm at. And I will say this, see my arm. I can pick it up. I couldn't before. But I was just like, you have to Beverly had given me a set of old watercolors she didn't want anymore. And these are some papers I got ages ago at Temu. They're really cool, but they had just a white back. So I just sort of, if this is all I can do, is something, and it goes in a stash. And, mark making, thoughtless. It is what it is. It's random, and just playing with colors and a little color mixing kind of thing. So that is kind of what I've been doing. Just even, for some reason I love this page. But they're all these sort of vintagey things. And I'm in the middle of doing 2 journals. So I wanted to go through and add some of the cool papers I had. And then get those done. So it's just, there's so much to do. And I have so many ideas. And that's the beauty of ADHD. Curiosity. I've always been curious. The other day when we were outside working in the yard, the neighbors there was some little boy over, and he might have been 8 or 9. And he says to Christopher, the gentleman helping me, young boy, he's like, "Who are you?" So I say to him, "Well, who are you?" He goes, "Well, why do you want to know who I am?" I said, "Because you just asked who he is." And he's like, "Well, I'm Nelson." I'm like, "Well, hi, I'm Tracy. This is Christopher. Well, what are you doing?" And had balloons on, some kind of party going on. He's hysterical. But he kept asking questions. And then his mom came out or somebody and said, oh, ignore him. And my like spidey senses went wild. And Nelson has ADHD and he's curious. And it's one of the things, and I was like that. I had more questions than my parents or anyone around me could have come up with answers. And, but I thought, just ignore him. He's not normal. You know, these are messages you hear. These are messages you take in. These are messages you build the foundation of who you are on. You're someone to be ignored. You're a nuisance, right? You ask too many questions. Like it's a character flaw, right? Like it's a choice. So, so when he said that, I said, oh no, I'm enjoying talking to Nelson. I love his questions. So, and he would come in and out and ask questions, but I thought I could see myself in him, of course. And, you know, that part of healing of like, that hurts, you know, because obviously it hit me so hard that I experienced that, right? So, it's a lot to unpack, but I am unpacking it. And having this session with my health coach yesterday was really good. I mean, I really hadn't focused on the anger and what's happening when I push it down, and the frustration and the fear of like, is this going to be my whole life, you know? But yeah, so I'm doing okay, and we'll see what happens with the biopsy. I'm just, you know, not going to worry about it until it happens. Chances are it's benign. But it's something to be aware of, and something I'm going to keep up on, and, you know, do my best to sort of, you know, remember that when you eat something, it can hurt you, it can harm you, it can heal you, it can sustain you, right? And try to take a moment to think about that. But again, like I said, so this yumminess, you know, is something that I won't have very often, or I'll have to figure out how to make it myself and get things that are not toxic. But convenience is killing us. It's the truth. Somebody said that on a channel I was watching. Convenience is killing us. And it's the truth. But also I know you can't go to Whole Foods and just buy a bunch of really expensive food, you know? Can I go there and get maybe some greens and stuff? Absolutely, if I eat them. But I'm not rushing out to do anything other than I want oat milk, and I want to get some spinach, because I want to add my quiche. I want to start adding spinach to everything. I mean, I'm not someone who's going to sit down and eat cooked spinach, but when it's in things, it's fine. I'm not going to just, you know, and I got to incorporate some broccoli. Broccoli would have been good in this. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at, y'all. Another hour, so I appreciate you, and I'm going to go get my act together and do what I need to do. Actually go get dressed first, because I need to head out of here in about an hour, and in about an hour, 10 minutes. So, but hey, welcome. And if you're this far along, thank you, and I appreciate you. And I'm going to get in a vibe and cooking, and, you know, and talking about dealing with anger and frustration, and, you know, and where I'm doing well and where I need help, and where I'm, you know, the word fail is so interesting. It's like, okay, but you just learn a way not to do something, right? That's like Edison said, he learned how many it was, 100, whatever, ways of how not to make a light bulb. And we're so afraid of even like saying, well, you failed. It's like as if that is like shameful, right? And again, not trying. Not shameful, but that might be where the true problem is. So yeah, that's it. Give yourself permission to fail, and it's not a big deal, right? Shame's a whole nother thing, but anger is on the lesson today. Did not get up and do my morning pages. I thought, you know, there's something I could do in my car at work. Maybe, you know, if something annoys me at work, take a minute, sit on my desk and write, or, you know, wherever. And really think about that. So right now I'm just trying to monitor my anger, frustration, annoyance kind of thing. Because I don't like, people are annoying. And I really worked hard at work not to match energy with energy. Somebody's having terrible times, why am I gonna act like them kind of thing? And, you know, that's basically who I am as a person. So it's not a hard reach. But one of the things I get to do, maybe tonight, is use this iron I got 100 years ago. See how it works and iron my paper down a little bit without having to get my big iron out, because I have it cleaned and stuff and I want to do clothes on it, heaven forbid. But yeah, so maybe I'll do the thing on this and record it. But all right, again, hard to say goodbye, so I'm going to say goodbye and do my best to get this posted if all the everything aligns. But remember, Halloween's a full moon, y'all. Full moon. Well, that's the Fexer now too. The full moon Halloween. But anyway, be safe, and nothing wrong with having candy if it doesn't set you off, right? But maybe treating yourself to a really good piece of salmon or steak or chicken, you know, instead of buying candy or stuff that's bad for you, or box cookies, and use that money and funnel it towards like really good protein. That's like, I love scallops. I don't make them well, but I'm not going to learn to make them if I don't ever buy them. So stuff like that is how I'm trying to switch. Like a treat is a yummy piece of fish, or, you know, a really good cut of steak or something, as opposed to, but anyway, I'm changing the subject. So I saw someone do these journals with these candy boxes. So I put the candy at work. Oh, I didn't cut that down. So, and you know, you're going to put paper in. So I got a couple of these to do, y'all. So I have things to do. Never not have things to do. So, all right, guys, take care again, and I will talk to you soon.